Okay, so I thought today I'd quickly go through the OneNote application. Again, this is a really brief introduction to how to use OneNote and how to set it up as well too. So I'll break this up in a couple of little videos. Okay, so first of all, you need to get to your SharePoint location, and you can do that with the portal from school. If you come across the top up here to select OneNote, you'll notice it's a nice purple color there. Click on that and it will launch, and ideally it will launch into this window here. And the first thing you'll notice, I use OneNote a fair bit. Your recent may only have just simply one or two points there. On the right hand side there you'll see my class notebooks. These are automatically populated to show you the classes that you currently teach. That's one thing about Office 365 that's nice. You don't have to populate the classes, it's already there for you. Select the notebook, whichever notebook you like. Now again, I'm going to select my ITS class, this one here. Simply click on it, and again, to speed things up, I'm not going to show you the fact that it's all web-based, and it does take a bit of time to go from one page to the next. So I've just opened the tabs up all ready to go. Okay, it'll open up into this page, which is great because it basically tells you the three main things that you've got in your OneNote. You've got a student notebook, and that's these ones down the side here. And each of the kids, you'll notice, in my class I should say, is already there populated. You've got a thing called a content library, which is where you basically put all your notes, all the bits and pieces that I want to give my kids. I break into my content library, so that's where you do your main amount of work. And you've got a collaborative space as well too. The collaborative space is if I ask, I might ask the kids a question, and they can put it in the collaborative space, and they can comment, feed backwards and forwards, and I can see that, and all the other kids can see it as well too. So basically, there's a student section, a teacher section, and a combined section. Okay. So on the left-hand side here, dive straight into it. My content library here. I pull that down there. I break my content library up into the components as I teach them go through. So, we started off the first term with item A. And as I click on that, it'll show them the piece by piece, lesson by lesson, or project by project I go through. Now, the nice thing about this is the kids can always go back to this. This is not hidden away. So even though we're working on item B at the moment, they can still go back and they can have a look at the psychology design if they want. The link's still there, and the information I've put up there for them is still there, and they can scroll through and do whatever. Okay, so it's there until I decide that I don't want to show them that anymore. Okay, and certainly when I jump onto item B, this is what we're working on currently at the moment. Okay, as I want to develop a new page, I simply click on page, and it builds up as we go through, and then I can just simply add content as we go through. Now again, today this one's just simply about to show you a basic overview. I'll show you how to build content as we go through. Another nice point of this, I do have a teacher-only section, so if I'm developing stuff in my teacher-only section, no one can see it other than me, obviously. Well, only the teachers can see it, and I can pick that up as I go through. Main thing, other than developing content for the kids, is it's nice to be able to see where they're at. So if I pick up a student's work, I can see, what have they actually completed. So this is their take on everything that I've given them. Now, from the content library, they can cut and paste, and I encourage that. They cut and paste the bits that they want from that library into their own notebook, so they don't always have to dive back into the content library. And this is one of my students' take on our psychology of colour. So they make notes, they take some of the images, and they develop bits and pieces. Now you can see a lot of this stuff they can just basically rip straight off the net, but they can do a screen capture, dump it straight in. So it becomes their notebook as they go through. It's really, really simple to put bits and pieces in here, and it's really powerful like that. So they can develop as we go through, lesson by lesson. As you can see, it takes a bit of time to load, piece by piece, and again, term by term as we go through. And it's really quick and easy. So I can see, I've got one student that's done a fair bit of work. I can pick on one student that I probably think maybe hasn't done such a bit of work. I can click on them and see exactly where they're at and see how well they've gone through the lesson. Another thing that I can do is, which is rather nice, in this situation I can say, oh look, that's great. I can actually annotate this. So I can actually put information here and just simply type away and say, that's a really good example of the logo, and give the kids immediate feedback. And again, it's one-on-one. No one else sees this, only the student and myself, and they can see that I've commented on their task and so forth. So that's a nice bit of feedback immediately as well. And again, you're not having to hover over the kid and say, oh, look, that's great, fantastic work. And it might put a bit of embarrassment into them. So by doing it this way, it's really, it's nice. Okay, so that's a brief overview of what OneNote can do for you. I'm going to conclude with that, and then I'll jump back across and I'll show you a better way of accessing it.